Welcome to the most incredible marketing show ever. The show where each week a panel of respected marketing strategists, all trained and certified by the legendary Dan Kennedy, share their wisdom, experience, strategies, and insights on how to use Dan Kennedy's philosophy on business and marketing in any type of business, and that you can apply to your business immediately. Here's your host, Craig Valine.
Hello, and welcome to the most incredible marketing show ever. I'm Craig Valine, your host, and with me is my expert panel of certified Dan Kennedy independent business advisors and brilliant entrepreneurs in their own mind. Thank you all for being here today. You know, we've had this running theme of answering questions from our listeners. And so today's question that I want to answer, because it's certainly one that I get all the time from my members and clients, is how can businesses identify and develop unique selling propositions that differentiate them from competitors? That was a tongue twister. First of all, Richelle, can you answer the question about what is a unique selling proposition?
Sure. It's what sets you apart. What makes you different from all of your competitors? You know, so many times you'll ask somebody, what do they do? And they sound exactly alike. They sound like everybody else. It's always, okay, if I took out your business name and inserted your competitor's business name, would there be any difference, right? Would there be any difference? And so your unique, just like it's talking about unique selling proposition, is what makes you freaking unique. Who the hell are you? And what makes you stand out from everybody else?
Yeah. Mark, what is something that is not a unique selling proposition?
Oh, my favorite one. My favorite USP is quality and service since 1948.
Locally owned and operated.
Locally owned and operated. Like everybody else.
Yeah, not a USP.
Service. So if you're looking for
bonded and insured,
look elsewhere.
Unless you're the only game in town, then it's like, hey, locally owned and operated, unique, right? But we're not talking to those people usually.
No, it's like the what's not a unique selling proposition is something that's like not unique. Go through your market and find all your competitors and see what they're all saying in common, and there'll be a lot of stuff. And pretty much cross all of those things out and see if there's anything left that you can say differently.
Right. Steve, what do you remember Dan's copyrighted question about the unique selling proposition?
I don't know if I remember word for word, but it was something like, why should I choose you over every other available option?
Available to me, including doing nothing.
Including doing nothing.
Doing nothing. Like, I don't want you, because that that you said is awful. Right?
Which is pretty much the most common reason, as Dan teaches, that people don't do business with you. You ask people, I asked over the years, thousands of business owners, like, out of all the leads come in, how many do you close out of 10? Well, 3 out of 10. What happens to the other 7? Well, I guess they go with somebody else. Wrong. Yeah. Most of them go with nobody. So they're still there for the taking. And now it's more than ever. Now that we're in the YouTube do-it-yourself Home Depot world of like, hey, my garbage disposal goes on the fritz. And I look around and they're all like, oh, it'll be $150. I'm like, really? Let me hang on a second. And I'll watch a YouTube video for 5 minutes. And I'm like, I can do that. And it takes me an hour. And I'm like, well, but it takes me but boom. And now the question really is, like, I'm pretty sure I could have done something better with that hour, but I feel good. Yeah, I could have written a few emails and made some money, much more than $150 I would have paid the plumber. But I feel good. Honey, look, I did something. It's amazing. I mean, I used to say before this YouTube do-it-yourself world, I only have one tool in my entire toolbox. And here it is. And with this fantastic tool, I can get everything done. I just call somebody. But now I can watch a video and go get it done. So even more than ever, people are choosing to not go with any competitor. They're choosing to hire nobody. So how can I get them to come with me instead of doing it themselves or not fixing it at all and leaving that problem hanging there or going with a competitor? That's the USP trademark question that Dan asked.
You know, one of the best pieces of advice I got on USPs is adding "we're the only." So we're the only business that's open 24 hours in town. We're the only ones who offer a guarantee for a lifetime. We're the only business in town that offers this product. Nobody else has this product within 60 miles or something to that effect.
Those are the magic exclusive words. That's a great starting point. I always teach, when I teach USP, is use the exclusive words. The first, the best, the biggest, the only, the quickest. Use a superlative word like that. So I talk to people and professionals, for instance, to have just give whatever you do a proprietary name. Just call it some proprietary name. I
Hey, Steve, that's a good
conversation with Richelle about this recently. Like,
that's
call it the thing that everyone else does. Just call it a name, and then suddenly you're the only one that does the XYZ factor. But
Steve, we have to unpack that a little bit for the audience.
I'm the only one.
We have to unpack that a little bit, Steve, because for a lot of people listening, I don't know if you ever recognize this, but a lot of people are drawing a blank when they hear, like, how can I be the only one? Everybody does what I do. So let's unpack that a little bit. How are there ways that you could be the only one?
Well, that's one. Just pick a name for it. So the WOW strategy is not a unique, when you break it down to what I actually do to help clients with their advertising, marketing, and sales. That's not unique. I just named it something unique. So just take what you do. Let's say you are a chiropractor and you crack people's backs all day, but you are Dr. Schlamopowitz. Well, now it's the Schlamopowitz method. You have the Schlamopowitz method, and because of the Schlamopowitz, I should have picked a different name. Let's call it because of the Smith method, you are the only one who uses the Smith method, TM. And so and now I have testimonials of people saying, wow, thanks to the Smith method, my back feels better than ever after only 3 visits. So even if you don't do anything unique, just name it something unique. Already you have a unique selling proposition.
And that scares people to do that, right? Like they're afraid. They go, well, can I really do that? How many times have people asked me that? Can I really do that, Richelle? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Back when I owned my telephone company, right? So I used to
I hereby give everyone permission for that first.
There you go.
Now you can do it.
Steve gives you permission. But I was the only female African-American public utility owner in the nation. And I said, well, wait a minute. Well, how do you know that? Well, because nobody ever challenged me on it.
And you know what? As soon as there becomes a second one, then you just change it from the only to the first.
To the first.
And you win.
Right.
And it made it so that people would go, oh my gosh. And it made it so easy for the media to pick it up, right? I was published in, 122 places already, because they go, oh, well, you're the only, and here, let's write a story about you being the only, right? And so, yes, it did have to go to the only female African-American, right? I had to have 3 categories to make me the only, but damn it, I still was the only, and it helped me stand out from everybody else that was out there.
Well, those definitely stand out for me.
Nice one.
I can't ever do any of those. They're all going to be unique to me.
Darn it, she's got us.
Mark, give me some examples of some that you've heard, some good USPs that you've heard.
Well, let's start with an example for, look at the old Domino's pizza example from back in the day, right? What were they think about this? They had to find something that they were unique in, right? Now, arguably, could they be unique in the best quality pizza or the best tasting? I mean, it's improved now, but how was it back in the day? So they weren't, their USP wasn't based on the taste or the quality of the food at the time.
Everyone says that, so it's already not unique.
Yeah.
Every pizza box says you've tried the rest, now try the best. Everyone says that.
Yeah. So the cool part about it is they thought, and this is what I always suggest to do, look at your audience and your immediate marketplace and what is it that they're actually clamoring for, and has somebody claimed that position? And in this case, in the Domino's pizza, what was the story? Their pizza, the pizza shops were like really close to college campuses with a lot of kids that are on weed, and they needed, they had the munchies late at night, so they needed the food fast, right? So they said fresh, hot. They didn't say good, just fresh, hot pizza in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. So that was like already the conversation in their mind. We need the food and we need it right now. And so they created that message, perfect message to market match.
Yeah,
My
everyone
favorite is
knows,
always
at
FedEx.
least in my day, on a Friday night, for instance, you call a pizza place, they would say, it's Friday night, be there in 2 hours. We'll be there in 3 hours. You know, we only have one oven. Like, come on now. So when Domino's comes out and says, we'll be there in 30 minutes, boom, they're getting all the calls.
Oh, they loved it when they came to my house. I was a little kid. I paid the guy with a full Pringles can of pennies.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine being that guy?
He went back to the shop and he told the story about, you wouldn't believe this kid. I bet I'm the only pizza delivery man ever that's gotten an entire Pringles can worth of pennies. And he could have started his own pizza shop and said, it's the Pringles can of pennies pizza guy.
We take pennies.
And here's my first Pringles can full of pennies to prove it.
Yes.
That was
We
unique.
take pennies. How many
Yeah,
people would you have gotten though?
There's other concepts that I've used with clients where you can use king and queen. So if there are 100 insurance agents, I had a client in my Chicago Dan Kennedy group. We called them the king, Chicago's insurance king. I just named them that. I said, you're just, what's unique? I was exasperated with trying to pull something out of them. So finally I just said, well, you know what? He goes, I'm just an insurance guy, just an insurance guy, just an insurance guy. You're Chicago's insurance king. And he wrote a book, and we bought him a crown, and not a, we didn't have like emeralds in it. It was like a paper crown, and he would wear it to the chapter. We dubbed him at the chapter meeting. We crowned him, and we took photos. We said, put these on your website. He wrote a book not by his name, by Chicago's insurance king. He became this little tiny nothing insurance guy, became known as Chicago's insurance king. You know it's working well when your competitors all complain. So
the finest crown that Party City had.
He said all the insurance guys in Chicago were suddenly calling him, complaining, like, who made you the king? Since when are you the king? I've been here 30, 40 years. I have 10,000 clients. You have 42. Like, how are you the king? Because like Richelle said, because nobody had to give me permission. I just claimed it. I'm the queen of this. I'm the king of that. I'm the this and that. And boom, you are unique.
This episode of The Most Incredible Marketing Show Ever is sponsored by Richelle Shaw and her new book, $1 Million Partnerships. You can grab the $1 Million Partnerships Accelerator Kit at www.milliondollarpartnerships.com. That's www.milliondollarpartnerships.com. Now, back to the show.
Yeah. So let's talk about like businesses that where they think, how can I be unique? We have rules, we have guidelines, we have industry standards. What would you say about that, Richelle?
I had to fix my language. It was almost really bad. It was almost really, really bad.
It's still early in the morning some places. Come on.
Right. It's like, don't say that. Don't say that. I really don't have an opinion because I don't care about what industry standards say. That's what's keeping you broke. Following the industry standards, right? You're following people who are lost, who don't know, who don't understand how this whole thing works and how to truly set you apart. I'm not saying go jail, behind a name. I'm saying make sure that just pick something that makes you different from the other guy sitting across from you in the damn cubicle, or else you'll stay in the cubicle next to him and never have your own office. So for example, if you're a financial advisor, right, and they've got all kinds of things, like you're not telling them that you're going to guarantee their returns. That's the only thing that they are really saying, that if you give a piece of advice, you can't give any guarantees, but you can definitely guarantee other things. So one of my clients, for example, was an OBGYN, right? So he can't guarantee that you're going to have a healthy baby. Nobody can guarantee that. But what he can guarantee is how much time he's going to spend with you. So one of the things that his USP that set him apart from every other OBGYN in the town was he's going to guarantee every appointment is 30 minutes. And people were like, wait a minute, what? Other doctors are pissed off because really they come in 3 minutes. They're like, scoot down, come on the table, scoot down. Every woman will understand. You guys won't get it, but they will laugh while I'm saying this. Scoot. You get to the bottom. Yam. Hey, this is my hand. And then bam, it's over. Right. And then they're like, okay, get dressed. 3 minutes they spend.
That sounds like my Saturday night.
Oh, but I'm bummed.
Yeah, we can all relate to that.
There we go. But in the end, he went and had 157 new referred patients just by having a different guarantee, right? Just by having a guarantee that nobody in the industry would even touch. Like they're afraid of how am I going to get to 40 patients a day? And if I don't get to 40 patients a day, I can't get to this amount. We took him from 384,000 to 1.2 million in 9 months. In 9 months, right? No other doctor, because
now wait a minute. OBGYN 9 months?
Isn't that something? Yes. Birthing. There it is. Birthed his $1 million business in 9 months.
Well, and that's a great story. And I'll add, Craig, that when you talk about like in their industry and ooh and on, whatever, I had a member of my, one of the original members of my Dan Kennedy GKIC group was the runner-up for my first Marketer of the Year in 2009. And he called himself, he was a part-time real estate agent and a full-time school teacher and coach on the football team. And yet, back in the day, it meant something. He made 6 figures in real estate commissions, working like 4 hours a week. That was his whole claim to fame. And he called himself the Renegade Agent. And so he had T-shirts and polo shirts made up, and it was on his website. He's the Renegade Agent. So you can do that in any industry. If there's all the rules and this, and it's holding everyone back, then you just call yourself the Renegade Chiropractor, the Renegade Dentist, and now you just bought yourself a lot more leeway, because when they go like, well, you're kind of stepping up to the line here on this advertising, where you say, okay, stepping up to the line, am I stepping over it? No.
Right.
Go away. Then why are you calling me? Like, I'm the Renegade Agent. Like, oh yeah, that's the Renegade Agent. He's doing that again that we don't do. He's doing everything we won't do. He's doing better than all of us. Right. So there's another thing. You call yourself the King, the Queen, the Renegade. Just pick something that sets you apart from people, or name whatever you do. There's so many ways to do this. Or like Richelle did, you could actually be unique. But man, that's the tough way to do it. I just like not having to actually be unique. Just create something that makes you unique.
You know, we had a family lawyer. We mentioned this on another episode, and I think you had a similar one, Steve, where we were trying to figure out how to be so unique. LA has more lawyers, as many lawyers as New York, if not more. But you know, how do you stand out when you're a lawyer? And what's the biggest pet peeve of a person dealing with a family law attorney? It's like they want answers. They're going through a very emotional time, and generally return phone calls happen over 72 hours, not immediate. So she put a 5-point guarantee in place, which was number one, the first thing that separated her. But number two was she guaranteed that she would return a phone call within 24 hours, or she would refund 1 billable hour to them. And that just set her apart. Not only set her apart in her market and caused a ruckus with her competitors, but you know, what can you do, right? She never guaranteed outcomes. She guaranteed that I will return your phone call within 24 hours or refund 1 billable hour. And at the time, I think it was $350 an hour. But she also got sought out for celebrity cases and stuff like that. Being in Hollywood and everything, she got called to be on TV, on actually the TV channel when it existed. She was on there for celebrity divorces, celebrity custody battles, everything else. And that was just because she stood out because of that guarantee. And nobody else did it. So very powerful.
Yeah, sad commentary on the way things are today, but it's still true that a differentiating factor is now. I've had clients do something similar. They just put in their ad, we answer the phone.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Like, yeah, but no one else does. It's a text message and it's a press 1 for this and 2 for that. It's like, if you actually, as soon as she thought, she was like, oh yeah, we actually answer them. Like, you do? We're putting that in the ad. And like you said, the phone rings off the hook. Maybe people just testing it out. She would say that once in a while. She goes, you know, people just call and they're like, is this really you? So you do answer the phone. Well, now I got you on the phone. So now I got a shot of bringing you in as a client.
And now we have actually an opposite problem. The other day I placed a custom printing order and I got a phone call. And Shannon was standing behind me and she's like, who the hell actually calls you today? Can't they send an email? It's like, what are you talking about? I'm impressed.
Yes.
That's funny. That's funny. You know, I do business, and I'm a friend with a celebrity publicist that you would know. And one of the stories on one of our last episodes, Steve and I and another were talking about origin stories. And my origin story with this guy was the fact that I was texting him because I thought he was busy. So I didn't want to interfere with his day. So I didn't pick up the phone. But he had always said, hey, if you're in my area, if you're in Santa Monica or if you're in Beverly Hills, pick up the phone and give me a call. Well, again, thinking he's a big, celebrity publicist and executive, I didn't want to bother him with a phone call. So I'm going back on Facebook, back and forth. And finally he picks up the phone and he calls and goes, Craig, I gave you my phone number at home. I gave you phone number at office. If you want to talk to me, call me. Okay, buddy? Bye. And then 24 hours, he called me back and he says, okay, buddy, what's up? But the point is, he stands out by being one of the only people around who takes phone calls, who makes phone calls, who receives phone calls,
Yeah, I guess I just never gonna understand when people text me and they go, is this a good time to call? I'm like, let me get this straight. You have your phone in your hand and you know my phone number, and yet you make me take out my ridiculous big thumbs and try and type back to the can't you just call me, come on, just call.
Yeah, so
that'll date me. That dates me as going way back.
We have
like
to wrap
Shannon
up.
said, who does that?
We have to wrap up on this episode, but any last tips for creating a powerful USP, Richelle?
Well, my favorite is always, just be you. There's nobody, I don't want to be Dr. Seuss, but, here's the deal. There's nobody that was created just like you. There's nobody. If you write down like everything that you've done, one of my favorite things to have clients do is just write down their top 20 accomplishments. And then it's like, oh, okay. When you read those, nobody else has the exact same 20 accomplishments. So just be you, stand out, make a difference, tell the shit tell the stuff that you normally wouldn't tell. Right. And it will allow you to stand out from everybody else.
Awesome. Mark, any final words on building a USP?
Yeah, I think that the best way to start is really start with your audience and do some deep analysis and deep listening. Go to social, get some social clues, find out what they actually want first, or what their biggest pains are. Or if you hear of things that the people are asking for that they just can't find the answer to, maybe that'll lead you to a message that'll be unique to you versus everybody else. Because if everyone's asking for it and nobody else is saying it, therein lies an opportunity for that USP for you.
Awesome. Steve, any last tips?
Well, as far as the actual tips of how to do it, we've just heard a whole ton of those. So all I'm going to say is in the last 20 minutes, the listeners have been given so many different ways to do it, why to do it, how to do it, who to do it with. I'm just going to leave it with, please don't be that guy or that gal that just spent your 20 minutes hearing all of how to do it, why to do it, when to do it, and who to do it with, and then not do anything. So just do it. And if you can't sit down by yourself and do it, sit down with someone else, hopefully someone who's really good at pulling this out of people, like one of us who's done it 1,000 times, or somebody else. But by all means, please don't flip off this episode and then just go to another podcast or answer your emails or do something else. Like, really find something unique, have a unique selling proposition. You will watch your whole world open up like it never has before. Everything about client getting becomes easier when you actually implement this. Please do it.
Yeah, don't flip off this episode.
One last tip that was shared with me by a very large Texan named Barney Zick. He's no longer with us, but he gave a formula that was, how blank, what I do is blank. So I filled that formula into, how these specific group of people, your niche market. Well, what I do is I solve this problem in a very unique way. So how blank, what I do is blank. So start there. It's a good start. And if you need any help for building a USP or anything you've heard on any of our podcasts, please reach out to anybody that you see here. We actually have a free gift for all our listeners at Most Incredible Marketing Show Ever. You can get that and get a gift from anybody that you just heard today or from any past episodes. And we actually meet every Thursday and share a new episode on a unique topic. So please come and join us. You can join us at youtube.com/@mostincrediblemarketingshow. I want to thank you, the listener or the watcher, for being here today. I want to thank my expert panel. Awesome people, wonderful people. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you on our next episode. Bye now.
See ya.
Thank you for joining us this week on The Most Incredible Marketing Show Ever. New episodes are available every week on Thursdays. To receive a free gift pack from our expert panelists and get access to show notes from previous episodes, be sure to visit our website, www.mostincrediblemarketingshowever.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell up in the right-hand corner to be notified of future episodes so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate you clicking the like button and leaving a comment on what big aha you got during the show. That's it for today's episode. See you next week.